Welcome to the Her Vibe is Pretty podcast, where you'll be guided on how to step up into your evolved woman,
design your dream life, and start living it. Let's get vibey. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of Her Vibe is Pretty. Let's get started with what we are feeling vibey about today. And Sarah, how about you go first?
All right. So today I'm feeling vibey because I just wrapped my 6-month journey with my trauma coach. And
yay, congratulations on that.
Thank you. It was actually the first time I've ever received one-on-one coaching. So you guys know I've done a lot of coaching programs. I've done a lot of self-help things, but it was mostly like small group, self-paced courses and bigger group programs that I've done in the past, which have been amazing and have helped me get to where I'm at. But the last 6 months I've been investing in myself in a one-on-one coach. And I literally just before this call wrapped that journey. And it just feels really good to reflect on the past 6 months and everything that I've continued to shift. And I want to share with you guys and be an example of what we always say, which is that the quote unquote work never ends. And I don't love saying it as work because it's not like hard work as in like physical work in the way our minds think of it, but the journey never ends. There's never a there. It's always let's show up with where we're at today and continue to stay open-minded and curious as to who we really are, as to who we came here to be. And as you show up to life with that mentality, you just keep surprising yourself. I mean, the last 6 months, I moved through so much that I didn't know was there and totally evolved into this new me. And I'm about to go do it again because of everything that came up in that 6-month container. So I'm just feeling proud of myself for showing up so devotedly to my life and to this journey and and of course it wasn't all easy. I was literally just crying pretty much for the past hour and a half, every session with my trauma coach. Emotion and pain and tears came up, but we all know that we have to feel to heal. And if we're not feeling, we're staying stagnant and nothing's healing and we're not shifting. So I'm proud of myself in the way I've showed up, and I'm feeling really vibey about all the shifts and changes I've made the last 6 months and how I'll continue to do that moving forward.
Yay. Yeah. I'm so proud of you too for always, like, you truly do, for I know everyone listening, but also for myself, like you are that example of like putting action behind all the things that you speak about.
Thank you.
You know, you don't just talk a big game, like you put your money, you put your time, and you put your energy into those things. And I mean, it is. And I'm glad to, like, one thing that you said that I want to point out, and this can be for any situation or any person, is taking that time to pause and reflect and look back.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about this more in the episode, the power of reflecting. But I think that's a practice that's so valuable because I was just in an app meeting before this, and we were having the same thing. Like, we were saying, like, this one project kept getting pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. And I had that moment where I was like, why the heck do we keep postponing this? Like, why? And then I took that pause. I stepped back and I was like, holy smokes. Like, we did so much. Every month had a big thing, like a big landmark thing. And you can sometimes lose sight of that. And you can get frustrated. Like, why does this thing keep getting pushed out?
Yeah.
When you take that step back and you're like, because we did all of these amazing, epic things all along the way. So
yeah. So good. Thank you for reflecting that to me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hey, tell us, what are you feeling vibey about?
Oh my gosh. So I feel like I have a lot of vibey things going on in my life right now. I feel like I'm getting a better balance, like a better work-life balance. I've had some real good quality time to like fill my cup lately, which I can just tell such a difference. I'm getting a good groove with like having babysitters to take care of the baby while I'm like getting back into some work things. So I just, like, I know when we got on this call, Sarah was like, how are you? And I was like, I'm just really good. Like, I'm just really good right now. So in the holidays, of course, like what a vibe. So but the thing I've noticed recently is, so I've been working my little yoga buns off over here, recording so many new classes for the app, because, and this is like a big heads up to you guys, I'm so excited. We are going to be doing a free yoga challenge for January. So it's like a new year yoga challenge, free for everyone. So normally this is something that you would need to like pay for to access these classes for the entire month of January on the Yoga Plus app. So I'm excited because not only is it a free new challenge for everyone, but I'm releasing 15 brand new classes to the app for this challenge.
Oh yeah.
And holy smokes, like so much freaking work goes into making all of these classes, between like planning and recording and recording them, editing them after the fact, getting everything uploaded and organized. Like it's been a lot, but I'm feeling so vibey. And this is the thing I want to point out, is because after having Ava, my yoga practice has been very, very inconsistent. I like don't have a practice, not even anywhere near what I used to have. I have a baby with me all the time. Like you can't really get into the yoga zone when you're like watching a baby. And that's been a hard thing for me, because yoga is like my go-to, you know, it defines me in a lot of ways, which good or bad, like it's just a big, big part of my life. And so to not have that has kind of been something that just hasn't felt right, but also didn't have the time or space for it. So it is what it is. Like I'm really honoring myself, being a mom, pouring my heart and soul into that. I love that more than anything. But this has kind of forced me to get back on my mat, and it's so hard to explain. Like that is what I feel so vibey about, is how good it feels to be moving again. And I can truly feel such a difference in like my mood, in my energy, in my patience level. Like I know we say this, like you need to fill your own cup so that you can like fill the cups of others. Like if you can't like help others when you are running on empty. And I feel like right now I'm living proof of that, because I can see it making such a positive impact on every other aspect of my life right now. And specifically what I've noticed is my mood. Like postpartum hormones, you guys, are like no freaking joke. Like postpartum depression is a very, very real thing. And I didn't have like severe postpartum depression, like, but I was very, very emotional, and I'm an emotional person to begin with. But I feel like getting back on my mat for an extended period of time, not just like 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, whatever, but like a couple hours of like recording classes. Oh my goodness. Like I feel like it just regulated my mood and my energy, and I'm just feeling so much better. So I guess what I want to like finish my vibey with is like, if you either are a new mom yourself, like me, if you have just gotten busy and caught up in life and haven't had time to get on your yoga mat or move your body, don't let that stop you from coming back to it. You know, give yourself that grace. Like you're doing the best you can. You're doing a great job. If you're feeling called to it, like if you feel like that thing is missing, do your best to make some time for it, because I really do think it will just feel so incredible for you. And come January, you guys, like January 1st, 2022, freaking join me on the app, because this challenge is going to be so much freaking fun. I'm having a ball. Like so many classes, I'll like finish recording them and be like, that was a really good class. Like that felt so good. So I'm just like dying for you guys to practice along with these, and you can for free. So that's the other thing I just want to share, is like, this is going to be completely free. So spread the word, tell your friends, tell your family, get like your little yoga bestie to like join the challenge with you, because it's really fun to like do it with someone else. And you can download the app. We'll include that in the show notes, but yeah, let's do it this January. It's going to be so fun.
I'm so excited. I'm doing it.
Yeah, I know. That's what you were saying. I'm really excited to have you in, and I think you're going to love these classes, Sarah.
I absolutely will.
So the other thing that we want to share with you guys, Sarah and I have been going back and forth a lot, because her and I both have very busy lives and we have exciting things going on. You know, Sarah's going to be traveling abroad for several months. I have a baby that I'm trying to, you know, mother and figure all those things out. And we love you guys so freaking much. Like, obviously the podcast is a huge priority for us, but we have been feeling a little bit like it's been a lot. You know, you guys don't know all the things that go on behind the scenes of creating a podcast, but there's a lot of work that goes into it, and we love it. Like, it's work that we really, really love. Mm-hmm. However, we want to make sure that we are always giving you the very best quality content we can.
Yeah.
And right now, coming out with our weekly podcast, really quality shows, is a little bit of a stretch for us, being completely honest and real with you guys. And we don't want the quality to slack. So our solution, for the next few months going into the new year, is to continue releasing episodes, but every other week. So don't you worry, we are not going anywhere because we love you and we love this podcast more than anything. But we just want to make sure that we're doing it in a way that feels aligning for both of us and a way that best serves you.
Exactly.
So going forward, for into the new year, but again, this isn't necessarily forever. We're going to kind of feel it out and see how it goes. But we'll be releasing our episodes every other week. And as always, you know where you can find us too, on Instagram, our personal pages, on the Her Vibe is Pretty page, on Facebook group, Her Vibe is Pretty podcast. So again, we're not going anywhere, but we'll just be peeking into your lives every other week instead of weekly.
Exactly. So, very well said, Mary. And I think that this is actually going to be, it's going to be a great opportunity for you guys for multiple reasons. So first of all, I feel like Mary and I, so fun fact, before we start the podcast, almost every week, we're like, all right, this is going to be our 30-minute episode. We're going to do it because Mary and I really value shows that have a variety, some 60-minute ones, some 30 minutes, some 20 minutes, some 10, some 15. And so we really have intended to get that variety into our show as well. And it never happens. And the reason it never happens is because
talk.
Yeah. Well, and we're deep and we talk about really deep topics that are very life-changing. And you guys have shown us that. Of course, they've been life-changing for us, which is why we bring them to the show. But your guys' words and your feedback and your gratitude for the show just shows us that they're changing your lives as well. So these are very deep topics, and they're topics that we don't want to just skim. And so with that, I understand, and so does Mary, deep topics can be a lot to embody when you're learning about something new every single week. So I see this as an opportunity for you guys to, and it's funny because I was actually, when I was working with my trauma coach the last 6 months, this is why she did this. We did sessions every other week because that phase of embodiment and integration is so important to actually lock these things into your life. And I was actually just talking to a listener today as well in the DMs, and she was asking me, she's like, I feel very behind with where I'm at in this journey. I'm just starting and I always feel like I need to be doing something. And my response to her was, the shifts and the transformation doesn't happen in the doing. It doesn't happen in the listening of the podcast. It doesn't happen in the action of working out or taking a walk. It doesn't happen in the doing. It happens in the being. And so I see this as an opportunity for you guys to listen to an episode and then take the next week and a half or however much time goes between 2 weeks to embed, integrate, and embody the topic that we have chatted about, or what came through.
That's so true. That is so true. And such a good point, because it takes time for these things to really settle into your bones. And
Right.
I feel like I've learned, there were things that I'm okay, I've listened about this, I've read about it, but I just don't quite get it. And then you live your life and it soaks in so much better. And it takes time to do that. So
that's wisdom number one. And piece of number two of this is, it kind of reminds me of, though I wouldn't say that this is necessarily a boundary, I always tell my clients, when you set boundaries with people, you give them permission to do the same. So obviously Mary and I have been at this for a year and a half now ish, maybe a little bit over that. And so the minds in us, it's hard for the minds in us to be okay, yeah, every other week, we're going to do this every other week now. But it feels in alignment with our bodies and our souls to make this shift for now. And as hard as that is for us to actually follow through with, we're doing it because it feels in alignment with our souls. So I'm hoping that this gives you guys permission to do something that maybe your mind is a little afraid to do or a little nervous to do, but it feels in alignment with your body. It feels like a hell yes in your soul. Take that step. It may be hard, just like it is for us to do this for the time being, but we all know that when we listen to our souls, when we listen to the alignment in our body, nothing but beauty and expansion comes from it. So it'll be cool for you guys to witness what ends up coming in your lives and in ours from us deciding to go every other week. So we love you guys. And I know that all of you will understand, but yeah, I'm really going on a deep self-growth journey. And I'm seriously like prioritizing me for the next 3 months. And I'm also going to be 5 hours ahead, which just is a lot with baby and Mary. And it's just like, it's a lot. And so once again, even though the minds are like, let's try to figure out how to make this work, our souls are just like, this is the answer for now. So
right.
Yeah, we love you guys and we appreciate you understanding. And it's going to be an amazing 2022. So let's talk about it, shall we?
Yes, I love the freaking new year. Like, I feel like I've talked about this and I'm probably going to say the exact same thing that I said in our episode last year when we talk about setting goals into the new year. But this time of year just lights me the F up. I get so inspired to like review my past year. I get so excited to like set big, exciting goals for the year ahead. And I just feel like it's such a beautiful time. Like in the winter, you're surrounded by like your family and your friends. And it's just like this really beautiful space to realign going into the new year. Yeah. So we want to talk about some of our favorite practices today. And I'm going to start with one of mine. And Sarah, I think you do this too. So if you do like anything, or if you're like never done anything before, or if you're like, hey, I'm crazy busy, like I don't have time to do all this crazy stuff for New Year's, like let this be the one practice that you do, because it's very simple. And it's very, very powerful. And that is choosing a word of the year. Mm-hmm. Do you do this, Sarah? Or do you know what I'm talking about when I refer to that?
Yeah, I just did it over the weekend with one of my friends. We chose our word for the year. And I want to say we actually might have done this last year in our last episode, because I think that my word from last year is probably the same as this year, but like it is what it is. I love it.
And we'll share what our words are in a second, because I have one. I haven't officially decided on it, but I have one that I think I'm going to do. Mm-hmm. So here's all you need to do. I want you to take a moment and I want you to think about your year ahead. I want you to think about the things you want to accomplish. I want you to think about the feelings that you want to have and the energy that you want to create in 2022. And maybe you just think about this. Maybe you journal about it. Do whatever feels aligning for you. Again, make it work, make it fun, make it easy. And then ultimately whittle it all down into one word. And why this is powerful to have one single word to represent your whole year is because it gives you a very easy and a very clear focus for you to live by. Mm-hmm. So I'll use my example from last year. Last year, my word of the year, do you remember what it was, Sarah? Mm-mm. It was fun.
Oh yeah, duh.
I wanted to make everything fun. How can I make this more fun? I was pregnant. I was going to have a baby. I knew I was going to be going through this big life transformation, and I wanted it to be as fun as possible. And so when I had this one single word to live by, it makes it so much easier to like make decisions or to take action or to like feel inspired, because it's like, okay, does this align with my word? Yes or no? Do the things that align with the word, try to do less of the things that don't align, or make those things that don't align start to align, like get creative, get fun. And it's really powerful. Like write this word in a place that you look at every single day. So you're always reminded and you never lose sight of what you want to create going into the new year. So it's really fun. It's really exciting. Fun. Haha. My word of 2021. I had a very fun year. I loved this year more. Like, I know the world is kind of crazy right now. And I know a lot of like weird things have happened and some really sad things have happened, but I will say I had so much freaking fun. Good. Like this has been such a powerful, life-changing year for me. And I think I did a really good job, like living up to that word. The other thing I want to mention about this is that if you don't live up to your word, it's okay. You've got a new year to do it again and make any shifts and changes along the way. So don't be hard on yourself. If you're like, yeah, my word was this and I never, ever did that. Like, guess what? You got another chance and here we are. So do you have anything to add to that, Sarah?
Not really. I just really want to reiterate what you said, because I loved what you said of keeping that word top of mind and then asking yourself with everything you do, does this action, does this decision align with my word or not? I love that a lot. And I'm going to definitely be bringing that into my year. Do you want me to share my word first?
Yes.
Okay. So my word of the year is expansion. And I have to look back and see. I really do feel like expansion was my word last year, but it doesn't matter because when I look back on my last year, I definitely embodied expansion. But going forward, it's like I'm choosing the word expansion, but I'm seeing it in a different light. I feel like usually when I see the word expansion, I just see like this energy field going outward, like expanding out into the world. And that was my intention for 2021, and it happened. And now this year for 2022, it's actually expansion, like further inward. So yeah, we'll see how that all plays out, but it's expansion, but I desire to expand inward and expand in my internal reality, knowing that that internal expansion also leads to external expansion. Both are valuable, but like, I feel like, yeah, I put a lot out into the world in 2021, which was so beautiful. And that's exactly what I needed to do. And now it's almost like, I kind of see my life. This is like coming through right now. I see my life in these patterns of I dive in, and then I take everything I learned and embodied when I was diving in and I put it out into the world. And so I feel like 2020 was dive in, embody, integrate. And 2021 was expand and put it out into the world. And now I feel like 2022, and maybe not all of it, because I feel like I am finding like a balance here and I'm getting quicker as I do this. But 2022 is like, okay, let's dive in, expand inward, embody, integrate. And then I'll begin to expand outward again. So yeah, that's so interesting that I'm reflecting on that pattern right now, because that pattern plays a role in all my different areas of life. But expansion is mine, expansion inward. I just looked at the clock for the first time this episode and it's 444. That's an angel number. So that's my sign from the angels that expansion is my word.
Yeah. That's really beautiful. And actually, I feel like very complimenting to the word that I chose for the year. My word is intuition. Because a big theme that I feel like I'm really honing in on is listening and trusting and taking action on my own intuition.
Yeah.
And now that I'm becoming more aware of this, I'm becoming more aware of how often I don't listen to my intuition. And it can be on big things like making business decisions. It can be on personal things like with my baby and with my husband. It can be on like tiny things like online shopping. This is a silly example, but I'll share it. I ordered these jeans, Good American jeans. And for one, I'm like not a jeans wearer. So like, what was I thinking? I saw my sister-in-law, who's cute as a freaking button, like love her, was wearing them. And she sucked me in because I was like, I need these. And I don't even wear jeans. Like, what was I thinking? But I go on, they were on sale and there is no returns and no exchange.
Whoa. That's intense.
I knew it was a bad idea. But I didn't trust my intuition.
Oh my gosh.
I bought the jeans. They are huge on me. The sizing was like way off.
Oh no.
And now I'm stuck with these jeans that are like not even salvageable. Like I need to just resell them online. So if anyone wants some Good American jeans.
Well, I was just going to tell you, maybe I'll buy them will they fit me?
Maybe.
You can try. Yeah, I will.
I'll for sure. Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, that's a great example of you not listening to intuition. And you say it's silly, but it's true. Like our intuition always has the answer. And I feel you, like I do shit like that all the time. It's like my gut. So with Zach and I were ordering my sister a Christmas present the other day and it was a shirt. And my intuition was like, get her a large. She loves baggy tees. And Zach kept saying, no, medium. Like you got to get her a medium. And my intuition kept saying large. And I almost did the medium. And I'm like, I'm just going to text her, whatever. And she said large. So I'm like, yes, our intuition has all these answers, even if they seem silly.
It does. It truly does. You guys, I know that we like preach this all the time. I've said this before. And I feel like I'm really like, this goes back to what we were saying about embodying. I feel like I'm finally like truly embodying this.
Totally.
And I started feeling at this tail end of the year, this new energy of like hearing my voice loud and clear, like my internal intuition voice loud and clear. And sometimes I choose to follow it and sometimes I don't. And so I'm bringing that energy into 2022 for me. It's all about trusting my intuition, taking that time to like not let my mind figure it all out, but let my heart and soul figure it all out. It means like not be so scripted in my life. So like I'm playing around with that with things like this podcast. Like you guys, I used to like have to have not like a script. A script is like way of an exaggeration.
Yeah.
Never word by word, but I needed like a very structured outline of like, how am I going to talk on the podcast today? Same with my yoga classes. What exactly am I going to say? What am I going to do for this? What am I going to do for that? And it's like, I'm doing some prep now, but I'm giving myself that space to speak from my heart and soul in the moment and trust that like what is coming through is my truth and like is what I need to follow and do. So guys, I got chills. I give myself chills that time. Like I'm excited for this to really, really dive into this. And like, that's the other thing. If like any of this speaks to you and you're like, whoa, I like want to get better at that. The thing that I've been doing more often that I would really advise you to do when you have a decision of some sort is to pause and like turn inward and be like, what does my heart and soul say about this? Like, what should, like, let that answer come to you. Like, what does my gut say? Like, ask yourself that question. Because if I would have asked myself that question when I was freaking online shopping for these jeans, like, it would have said no. It did say no. I knew it was a bad decision, but I let my mind be like, but they're on sale and they're really cute and you might wear them. Like, no, they are cute.
I love it. No, that's so good. That's such a great word. And so, yeah, you guys choose your words and share them with us. Post on your stories, tag us, share it in our Facebook group. We want to hear your words. All right. I'm going to share a practice. I'm actually, I'll just share one and then I'll let you share another one. Then I have one more. So this is just basic, but I promise you guys, it'll make you feel so much better. And you might already do this, but if you don't, definitely do it. And if you already do it, ask yourself, how can I step this up one notch? Is organize. I love to organize the fuck out of my life at the beginning of the year. And it's usually more so like around this time. So when this podcast episode drops, it'll be the 29th of December. So we have a couple days to the New Year's. I'm starting organizing right now, everything, like my entire life, of course, physical, like I'll go through my closet. I'll go through all my shoes. I'll go through all my things. I'll go through my physical life. I'll go through cupboards. I'll donate things. I'll throw things away. But then I also organize my finances. I'm a business owner, so I really get my taxes organized and my expenses organized. I organize my health and like my cupboards, and I just literally organize everything. My phone, I delete photos, I delete videos. My computer, I just got this little notification right before this podcast episode telling me that my storage is tapping out right now. So I'll delete a bunch of stuff off my computer. I just get organized, and I do those things that, throughout the year, we think of doing something. We're like, oh, we'll do that later. Oh, we'll do that when we get a lot of free time. And then we usually don't go back and do it. I do all those things that I've made the mental notes to do. I update things. So just organizing and getting organized, especially with things that you maybe haven't been in the past, can feel so expansive and so nourishing. It can really like give you that fresh start energy.
I love that. I'm all about it. And I feel like every single year I talk about decluttering, organizing, and like I say minimalist lightly. I would not consider myself an actual minimalist. If you saw my closet, but in the sense of like getting rid of like the distractions, getting rid of like the things that are just taking up space, but not providing you any value or joy. That's kind of my mentality when I say like minimalist, like keep the things that you really love, the things that you are going to actually like love and give attention to and use and wear or whatever, and then get rid of everything else. Like if you have 2 black sweaters and you always wear one of them, get rid of the other one. Like it's just taking up space physically, but also like mentally. I feel like if you've got a lot of stuff, takes up mental space as well.
I'm looking around my room as you're saying that, and I literally just saw 3 things I could get rid of. So I'm pumped to do it. And I just want to hone into on like the non-physical as well. So I like, when was this? Maybe the middle of the year, I realized that I wasn't really doing a great job at organizing my finances. I was just making money from all different places and spending money all different places. And it was just kind of like chaotic. And the reason I wasn't taking the time to go in and organize it is because it felt intimidating. So if something feels intimidating for you to dive into and start organizing, that's like what you need to do most. Because once I finally was like, nope, I can do this. I'm smart, because there was a limiting belief that like accounting, math was never really my thing. And I was claiming that I didn't know how to do things when I actually did. It was just like, it felt a little scary and intimidating to dive into. But once I did it, I felt so much better. So physical, non-physical, health, finances, mental health, emotional health, physical, get your appointments scheduled that you've been putting off, for like, just check things off your to-do list. You'll feel so much better.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Okay,
So
Mary, share with us.
Yeah, my last like favorite practice for going into the new year is using my bullet journal. And you don't have to have a bullet journal to do what I'm going to share with you, but I use it because it's just like a really fun and easy way for me to track these things throughout the year. But I love taking time to sit down and review the past entire 12 months. Like, what did I do? What did I accomplish? Where did my energy and focus go? What did I give time to? Because like we were saying earlier, I think that we just don't do that enough. Like we just get so caught up in like where we're currently at to take that time to pause and be like, whoa, look at where I came from. Like, so if you feel like you're not making enough progress, or like things in your life are kind of at a standstill, like then you really need to do this practice, because I think you'll be amazed at the shifts and changes that you have made. So I take time to review the last year and like what my goals were and kind of where I'm at. Some of them I accomplished and like knock it out of the park. Some of them I'm like, oh, didn't do that. Like I wanted to start a YouTube channel, and guess how many videos I posted? One.
Yeah, except
video.
for you kind of sort of manifested that in a weird way, because we started a YouTube channel with this and we have like a bunch.
That's true. That's true. So we did post YouTube videos for Her Vibe is Pretty, but I wanted to do more like vlogging and like videos and yoga stuff, and it just like didn't happen. And you know what? That's okay. Like that's where I get to practice my word of the year, intuition. Does this still feel aligning to me? Does this still feel like something I want to do? Ask my soul that and listen to what my soul says. And take it from there. So on top of reviewing the last year in my bullet journal, I also like to set my new goals and intentions for the next year. And I write that like in my next bullet journal for 2022. And you guys listen to the episode that we have. Shoot, I wish I would have like looked up what number it was, but we did a New Year's episode last year, talking about like a better way of setting goals. And so use that practice. Like it is so powerful. I'm not going to like repeat everything that we share now, because we go in depth in that episode. It's a really good one to revisit. But think about the things like you want to accomplish. Think about the feelings that you want to be creating in the new year, and then figure out how to put that into goals going into the new year. And I love that, because it just like writing them down is so powerful. Like, I feel like that's kind of old school me. Like, I just love getting my markers out, getting my pens out, like taking that time to really sit with like, what do I want to feel and cultivate in the new year? And then how am I going to go about making that happen?
Yeah.
And sometimes I follow that and sometimes I don't, like I said, but it just gives me like that clarity to like make these things happen. And I feel inspired AF as soon as I'm done doing it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I love it. That actually kind of ties in with what I'm about to say and my last thing that I like to do in the new year. So if you want to do this and you want accountability and guidance, on Saturday, which is the 1st of January in 2022, I'm hosting a live breathwork workshop. It's our January reset. And in this one specifically, it's a special 2-hour event where we're going to be doing just that. We're going to be reviewing the entire last year, 2021, and we're going to be setting goals and intentions for 2022 all together. And then we're going to be doing a breathwork session afterward to really breathe them into our systems and get going on embodying them. So if you want to join that, I'll put the link in to drop in, or if you are in Inward and Upward, you get to just come for free. Or if you want to do the trial of Inward and Upward and join us, you can do that as well. And if you're listening at a future date, if you're in Inward and Upward, all the recordings are posted. So if you're listening to this like the second or third week of January, you can still join Inward and Upward and do that January reset, set your goals for the year, and do a breathwork session with them. So that leads into my last thing that I love to do, which is I like to take something like I'm hosting along those lines. So last year I did a whole 1 week course on goal setting for 2022. This year, I'm probably going to do the same. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it with that same mentor or a different one. And I'm also going to do a breathwork session myself with my mentors. And I'm kind of like sitting with what else I want to do. I'm really being more intentional in 2022 about who I learn from. And I really just want to, I feel like I'm overstimulated sometimes because I literally follow like 100 inspirational mentors and coaches, and I want to do all their courses and take all their coaching.
Information overload for sure.
And I will work with all of my favorite mentors at some point, and I've already worked with a lot of them, but I just am trying to like tone it down a little bit and reel it in for 2022 as I go deeper into my own self. So yeah, I like to do something to attach me to my why. Like, why am I still showing up in the way I am? Why am I devoted to growth? Why am I devoted to my truth? Why am I devoted to living my best life? And I like to do something that attaches me to my highest self. So yeah, I just take that time kind of to do what you do, but I do it in more like of a accountable container.
I love that.
Yeah.
That really makes me, I'm coming to your event. That sounds incredible.
Yes, please do.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So if you're in Eastern Standard Time, it's at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the first of the year, which is a Saturday.
What a perfect way to like bring the new year in.
Totally. I know, with a breathwork session, it's going to be so powerful. And then I actually won't be in Europe yet. I was originally supposed to be in Europe at that time, but now I won't be. So it'll be 2 p.m. if you're in Eastern, but if you are in Portugal, it'll be 7 p.m. And if you're in the rest of Europe, I think it'll be 8. So join us for that. Link is in the show notes. But you guys, these practices that Mary and I shared are basic. They're simple. They don't take too long, but it will really make you feel refreshed and renewed going into 2022, which you will cherish for literally the entire year. So take the time to be intentional, and you'll just get it going in such a high vibe.
Yeah. I just want to thank you guys so much for being part of this community, for making it what it is, for being that inspiration for Sarah and I to keep showing up. We truly love you guys more than we can put into words. And we know that this is still just the beginning. Like, we've got some big plans. So we thank you so much for being with us along this journey every step of the way. We appreciate the space that you're giving us as, you know, we continue to transform on our own lives, and like making sure that we stay up with the podcast, but do it in a way that feels very aligning, and we can still give you that incredible quality. But there are going to be big things coming. I mean, we've been talking about some ideas that we want to bring into this new year to go even deeper with you. And we can't share any of the details yet, but just know that there are a lot of really incredible things coming. So yeah, thanks for being part of this community. We love you. Please connect with us on Instagram at hervibeisprettypodcast, on Facebook, hervibeisprettypodcast Facebook group. And then of course you can always DM us directly. We love getting your messages. You guys you mean the world to us. So thank you so much for all you do. Have an incredible new year. If you do set a word of the year, let us know what it is. Share it in the Facebook group. We'd love to help you celebrate and make those happen, like bring it into the new year. So we love you guys. Happy New Year. We love you. Happy New Year. Bye.